wonderful flavors and catches of vitamins. Trees supply oxygen for living things. These are among the wonderful blessings that God has given to human beings. They are too beautiful, have systems too complex, and provide advantages too indispensable for them to be in the least attributable to chance.
The tiny seeds you see contain 60 times more information than in all of the Encyclopedia Britannica.
When planted in the ground, the information in the seed will later turn it into a flower or a tree. From every seed emerges a plant different in taste, smell, color, and size than every other. Together, black soil and a small seed can produce colorful flowers, sweet-smelling aromas, and perfumed fruits. That is just one of the creative miracles of Almighty God. In the Quran, God says, "Have you thought about what you cultivate? Is it you who make it germinate, or are we the germinator? If we wished, we could have made it broken stubble. You would then be left to wonder." For millions of years, the countless varied plants on Earth have known what they must do and when they must do it, thanks to a program stored in their seeds, and they remember this program and carry it out without error. A peach tree never grows from a cherry pit, nor does a strawberry ever come from the seed from a lemon tree. It is surely impossible for a piece of wood, with no brain, eyes, or intelligence, to put such a perfectly working program into operation by itself. The idea that this system can have been functioning perfectly for millions of years due to the success of chance occurrences is a fantasy that all sensible people will find ridiculous. It is God who creates plants. This fact is revealed in the Quran. It is He who sends down water from the sky, from which we bring forth growth of every kind. And from that we bring forth the green shoots. And from them we bring forth close-packed seeds. And from the spathes of the date palm, date clusters hanging down. And gardens of grapes and olives and pomegranates, both similar and dissimilar. Look at their fruits as they bear fruit and ripen. There are signs in that for people who believe. Millions of living things, each one of which is equipped with the most appropriate systems for its environment, the most appropriate for its needs.
Some are born with powerful muscles, others with highly sensitive ears, some with eyes created to see with enormous clarity underwater, and others with bodies able to withstand the longest of journeys.
So, who gave them the information they needed to prepare themselves for an environment they have never yet seen? How does a newborn land animal know that it needs lungs to be able to utilize the oxygen in the atmosphere? Or that a fish anticipate that it will need gills to use the oxygen dissolved in the water it swims in? How can birds realize they need lightweight skeletons in order to fly? That sea-going penguins need feathers coated in oil so as not to absorb water? that eagles need sharp eyes to see their prey from thousands of meters above the ground, that a woodpecker needs a special suspension system to protect its head from serious concussion.
How could chance and unconscious atoms have created living things, those marvels of creation with such perfect features?
Such a thing is, of course, completely impossible. It is God, the Lord of the worlds, who created living things with their marvelous systems, together with the favorable conditions that allow every living thing in the universe to grow and thrive. Professor Gary E. Parker was formerly an evolutionist, but like many other scientists, on the basis of research he did in paleontology and biology, he came to the conclusion that the theory of evolution was invalid. Here, he reveals his true thoughts about the variety of species. What spectacular variety we see among living things, both variation within kind and the stupendous number of different kinds. Most of us are awed by the spectacular variation in color, size, form, features, and function we see both within and among the incredible diversity of living things that grace our planet. Why so much variation? Darwin himself described the anxiety he experienced upon seeing the perfection in animals that invalidated his theory.
I remember well the time when the thought of the amazingly complex structure of the eye made me cold all over. But I have got over this stage of complaint, and now trifling particulars of structure often make me very uncomfortable. The sight of a feather in a peacock's tail, whenever I gaze at it, makes me sick. Peacock feathers that made Darwin sick as he looked at them, and all the marvels in animals, plants, and nature are all proofs of creation by means of which we can comprehend the might of God, who created everything from nothing, and by which we can properly appreciate his power.
God draws our attention to this fact in the Quran. And the earth, how we stretched it out and cast firmly embedded mountains onto it, and caused luxuriant plants of every kind to grow in it, an insight and a reminder for every human being who willingly turns to God.